robotic arm loads them onto the welding carousel. But before any welding begins, a nozzle applies sealant around the rim of each plate. This will fill any gaps left between the parts after welding. A robot now welds the tapping plate to another steel part called the bottom ring. This ring will hold the gasket, the rubber seal that prevents oil from leaking out as it travels through the filter into the engine. The welded parts, known as the bottom assembly, now go into a machine that cuts a thread pattern through the center. This will enable the oil filter to be screwed on to the engine. Another press produces the oil filter steel body called the canister. The dies first stamp out a rough canister shape. Then they reduce the diameter and make the can taller. Finally, they cut off the excess. Elsewhere in the factory, another machine cuts and perforates pieces of tin-plated steel coil and rolls them into tubes. We'll see where those tubes go shortly. Yet another machine prepares the filter's key component, a filter paper that works like a fine sieve, trapping dirt, carbon, and soot. First, the machine pleats the paper so it will fit inside the canister. Next, the machine cuts the continuous ribbon of pleated paper into lengths. It folds each piece into a circle, fastening the ends with the steel clip. The next machine assembles what's called the filter cartridge. It places each filter paper over a tube. The tube's job is to reinforce the paper against the force of the oil pumping through it. This machine glues a capping disc on each end of the filter paper to hold the tube in place. A heater cures the glue. Now for the final assembly. As the canisters go by upside down, automated arms insert the filter cartridges. A worker then puts a thin rubber disc on top of each cartridge. This disc will prevent the oil from draining out of the filter. Now for those bottom assemblies we saw them making earlier. A worker positions one on each canister. Then a machine called a seamer folds its edge down, forming a rim, just like the rim of a soup can. Now the conveyor turns the filters right side up as they file by 5